This is the ultimate list of countries around the world where you can get a second citizenship in a fast and efficient way through investment, through donation, through buying real estate, and also through starting a company in any of these countries. We've helped over 210,000 people here on YouTube learn about second citizenship and second residency, as well as directly helped over 1,000 clients getting second residency, second passport. I personally have 4 different citizenships. I renounced my US citizenship because I was born in Puerto Rico. I have multiple golden visas, multiple residency permits all over the world in pretty much every single continent except Africa. I have residency or citizenship. So let me take you through all the countries that offer citizenship by investment. Now, first of all, the one that I have, St. Kitts and Nevis, we're gonna group them all. The Caribbean programs. We got St. Kitts and Nevis, that's gonna be $250,000 US in donation or $325,000 in real estate. Now, all of these countries in the Caribbean, they're pretty much the same citizenship, the same passport. The next one, Dominica, is going to be the cheapest. So this is going to be $200,000 US in a donation or $200,000 in real estate. And then similarly priced is going to be St. Lucia, $200,000 US in donation or $300,000 in real estate. Now, while you might choose one over the other, for example, the next one, Grenada, is $235,000 US or $270,000 US into real estate that is outside of the hurricane belt. So if you're gonna buy real estate in a Caribbean country, I was born in Puerto Rico, originally Puerto Rican, so Latino, but also American. And in Puerto Rico, hurricanes really devastate the island. The same goes for other Caribbean countries. So if you don't wanna be devastated by a hurricane, I know people say get hurricane insurance, but it's really useless. So you wanna be outside of the hurricane belt, then you might get real estate in Grenada. If you want the fastest and let's say cheapest passport, then that could be either St. Lucia or Dominica because they're both 200,000. And also it's a pretty straightforward process. Or if you want to live in a tax-free country, then Antigua and Barbuda, which is the remaining country, it's $230,000 US in donation. Then that could be something because it's a tax-free country, essentially tax-free islands that you can live in, and it's also very beautiful, and it's a little bit safer than St. Kitts and Nevis, which is also a tax-free country. They're pretty much the same, it just depends on the pricing, and in terms of the length of time that it takes to get one of these citizenships, it's almost a year, and in some cases more than a year. It used to be 6 months, before that it was 3 months, now it's taken over a year just because so many people are applying. Now over to Latin America. What are the Latin American possibilities? Because obviously Latin America is full of really great passport and citizenship opportunities. The Argentinian passport is a solid one. The Chilean passport is also solid. Uruguay is solid. Mexico, these are solid passports that give you great access to the world and great countries that you could potentially live in. Now, none of them offers direct citizenship by investment, just like the Caribbean, but they do offer permanent residency through investment or through opening a company or through showing that you have enough savings. For example, Mexico and Argentina offer direct permanent residency through just showing that you have money in the bank or just making an investment into the country. Specifically, Mexico is the most popular in terms of getting permanent residency, specifically for Americans and Canadians. They get permanent residency by showing that they have good income or good savings, and then they actually live in one of these countries. They learn the language and they get citizenship. So I speak native Spanish, so for me, getting an Argentinian passport would be pretty straightforward, but I have to live there for 2 years. Now, both of these countries, Mexico and Argentina, provide what's called, skipping the naturalization process because you are providing value to the country. So in some cases, they do allow you to skip that process of getting the citizenship in terms of how much time you need to be there. So Argentina, for example, a judge might see that you're contributing greatly to the country and allow you to skip the 2 years that it takes to get the Argentinian citizenship. This is not very common, and there's no way of actually paying for this. It's more about depending on a case-by-case basis, but it is possible. And it is a couple of continents because you have North America, Central America, and also South America. I would definitely recommend looking into these countries for actually living in a place and committing to a place and then getting the citizenship. And you also have to be careful with Paraguay because Paraguay is promoted as one of the countries where you can easily get a second citizenship when that is not the case. Paraguay is not as easy as going there 3 to 5 days per year and then claiming your citizenship after 3 to 5 years. No, they require you to be there more than 6 months a year. There is a way of kind of bypassing that, but it's not really legal, and I wouldn't recommend it for most people. And at the end of the day, the judge might just deny your citizenship request. Over to Europe, you have Malta with the direct citizenship by investment or citizenship by exception program. That's going to cost you around 1.1 or 1.2 million US dollars in donation, in fees, and getting some real estate because you have to rent or buy real estate. But if you want a top tier European passport with access to the US, let's say you're a US citizen renouncing US citizenship, you can get the Maltese program, or you're somebody that wants an EU citizenship and you're worth, let's say, $50 million, $100 million. You want the easiest and fastest path to become an EU citizen. Then Malta provides it. It's going to be around 1.5 years or 2 years. You have to spend some time in Malta, so it's not just giving them money and disappearing. You actually have to go through spending time there and getting proper residency in Malta and then getting your Maltese passport. But once you get it, you're an EU citizen. Although it takes a lot of due diligence, a lot of checking your documentation, checking basically your entire life to make sure that you're a legitimate investor and you're not hiding everything. Wouldn't recommend it for most people. We have some clients that have gone through this program, but it's really specific, the kind of client that's going to go through this. What I would recommend is getting a golden visa, like the one in Portugal. Although this is not direct citizenship by investment, you can invest 500,000 euros into a fund, and after 5 or 6 years, you're eligible to get that Portuguese citizenship. And you're obviously not donating that money, you're investing that money and then claiming the citizenship without actually living in Portugal. I have clients from the US that have done this 3 to 4 years ago, and soon they're eligible to claim their Portuguese citizenship. It takes a while to get the actual golden visa approved, but the time starts counting when you actually apply for the visa. So 5 years after application, you are eligible to apply for citizenship, and the visa itself takes around 3 years to get, but that time is counting towards the citizenship. Austria also provides a program. It's citizenship by exception. It's going to require around 5 to 8 million euros or more in investment. It can take over 2 years to get the Austrian passport. So I wouldn't really recommend this to anybody unless they have a very, very specific reason for picking Austria, or they have a business in Austria, they've been living in Austria anyway in the last couple of years and they're not entitled to citizenship yet. They might invest in the country to get that citizenship, but there's much better options. If at any point you want to work with me and my team on getting you a beautiful second passport, I just love citizenships. If you want my help doing this, I literally do this on a daily basis. Click the link in the description, book a call with us. We're happy to help you. And the last direct citizenship option that I would recommend in Europe, because you have other golden visas like Hungary, 250,000 euros into a fund. You have Greece, you have Latvia, you have many golden visas, but they don't lead to citizenship. So if the ultimate goal is to get citizenship, then Spain, if you are from Latin America, or you are Filipino, could work out pretty well, because although the Spanish golden visa is closed or closing, depending on when you watch this video, you can still get a residency permit in Spain, live there 2 years, and apply for your Spanish passport. I haven't personally done this, even though I was born in Puerto Rico, I speak native Spanish, I look Spanish, people think I'm Spanish. I would probably get this very easily. The thing is that I don't want to live in Spain full time. I don't actually enjoy living in Spain. I enjoy living in Central Eastern Europe, in Poland specifically, and I like traveling a lot. And also, you have to pay taxes for those 2 years, so you have to apply for the Beckham law, and then to get out of the Spanish tax residency net is very tough. So overall, it's a tricky situation. If you really need an EU citizenship, you could do that. Right now, I don't specifically need it. Getting an EU passport for me through that route would be more risk and more hassle than it is just living on a residency permit in another EU country. Now, another country that used to have a citizenship by investment program, I never heard of anybody that actually got approved. That was North Macedonia. A 200,000 euro investment into a fund in the country would allow you to get North Macedonian citizenship. I didn't actually hear of anybody doing this. That is why I recommend to look into Serbia. Although there's no direct citizenship by investment program, it's not like you can pay and get your citizenship. There is citizenship by exception. So if you start a business, you make big investments in the country, you spend some time in the country, and you actually commit yourself to Serbia, you can get the Serbian passport, which in my opinion is better than the North Macedonian one. A lot of people say Serbia is going to join the EU, although I don't really see that happening in the next 5 to 10 years because of their ties to Russia and the East, but it's still a very solid passport and great for diversification. Over to Africa, in the entire continent, although you have some visas and some residencies that do lead to citizenship, and some citizenship programs like Sierra Leone, you could invest there, although most people aren't doing that. You can also invest in Ghana. And if you have some African ancestry, get citizenship in Ghana. You had Comoros a couple of years ago. You could get Comorian citizenship. And obviously you have Egypt. If you want to get an Egyptian passport, that's going to be 300,000 US dollars into real estate, although I don't recommend it to pretty much anybody, to be completely honest. You also have Cape Verde. We're working on a Cape Verde citizenship by investment program, or citizenship by exception. We're working on getting that actually properly launched. We've been working on it for over a year at this point with the Cape Verde officials. This is what I do on a daily basis. I basically talk to government officials to try to launch citizenship programs in different countries, obviously in a legal way, and then I tell my clients about it and talk back and forth. It still isn't officially launched, but we are looking at potentially, if somebody buys real estate in Cape Verde, they could potentially get citizenship within 6 months or 1 year. It's not the best passport in the world, but it does have good relationships with Portugal, with Brazil, as well, expedited residency in all Portuguese-speaking countries, and overall, some diversification. Also, in Mauritius, you have permanent residency, although that's not going to lead to a passport right away. If you invest $375,000 into real estate or more, or if you open a company and you invest into your own company in Mauritius, you can get permanent residency. We have great contacts in Mauritius. Multiple of our clients have gone through this program. If you actually commit to living in Mauritius for 2 to 3 years, over 8 months per year for 2 to 3 years, and you take very small vacations, you could also get a Mauritian passport, which is one of the top in the world. It's one of the top in Africa, Seychelles and Mauritius being the top 2, and it has great access to the rest of the world. Over to Middle East and Asia, although Turkey doesn't like to call themselves the Middle East sometimes, let's put them in this, basically in this category, Middle East plus Asia, because Asia doesn't have that many citizenship by investment programs. We have Turkey, 400,000 into real estate. This is an extremely popular program. More than 50,000 people around the world have done this. You buy real estate in around a year, you get your Turkish passport. Turkey has a good reputation of helping its citizens around the world. If you're a citizen and spending a lot of time in Turkey, also entering and exiting the country is very simple, and it could provide some benefit to you because you don't have to donate anything. You just buy the property and get the passport. And also Jordan has a citizenship by investment program, although again, just like Egypt, not really relevant for most people. If you're going to invest more than $750,000 or $1 million into Jordan, you can get a Jordanian passport, which doesn't really provide that much travel freedom around the world unless you're specifically interested in that region and in the country. And the other 2 countries would be Cambodia. Again, not that many people wanting to get this citizenship, but if you donate around $250,000 or if you make an investment in real estate of over $300,000, you could, through direct approval of the kingdom, get citizenship in Cambodia. A lot of Chinese people have done this program just to diversify away from China, and also it allows you to buy land in Cambodia. If you're interested in that, you could do that program. Not relevant to most people, and also extremely not relevant to most of the world. But if you just want something for, just to make a joke out of it, essentially, or just to have some diversification, you could go for Pakistan. Pakistan offers citizenship by investment for Commonwealth citizens. So if you're a citizen of St. Kitts, for example, or the UK, you can give Pakistan $18,000 and then get a Pakistani passport, arguably one of the worst passports in the world, not much access to the rest of the world, and probably it'll give you more hassle saying why you are a Pakistani. Maybe you have UK, Italian, and then Pakistani, and people might ask you, why do you have a Pakistani passport? Are you from Pakistan? Like, what's the deal here? Oh no, I got it by investment. Why? It provides more hassle than it provides benefits. And then the last 2 over to the Pacific are going to be Vanuatu and Nauru. Passports that don't provide that much access to the world, but if you want a plan B and you already have access to the world, you're an EU citizen, you're a Canadian, you don't care about traveling that much on that new passport, you just want it in terms of diversification, or you're a US citizen that doesn't plan to renounce, you just want to have some sort of other backup nationality, then these could work out pretty well. Nauru is a relatively new program. They have access to around 60-something, 70 countries around the world, so it's not that great access, but it does provide you a plan B. You're probably not going to live in any of these places. I went to Vanuatu myself, and although it's beautiful, you can buy very cheap land. It's tax-free as well, so for some Australians, they can get Vanuatu citizenship, move to Vanuatu, and then not pay taxes on the crypto or their personal income, for example. So for very specific cases, these passports work, or just to have a diversified portfolio. Let's say you already have 3 citizenships, you want to get a 4th one in an off-the-grid place, these could work. And lastly, other programs that used to have citizenship by investment programs, but they no longer have these programs, are Montenegro, Cyprus, Bulgaria used to have an expedited program, Moldova also was thinking of launching their citizenship by investment program, and Bosnia as well, although they do have citizenship by exception actually. If you start a business and you hire people in Bosnia, these are all the programs that are sadly no longer available. Maybe one of them comes back. If you're interested in getting a second citizenship, then you definitely want to find out about citizenship scams. What are the fake citizenship options being offered out there so you can know to avoid them and not get scammed out of potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. Check out this video right here on the most popular fake citizenship options. Make sure to watch it right here and only go for the legit options.